Welcome to today's episode of Women's View. My name is Anne Murimi. I'm your host. As always, it's a great pleasure to have you with us. And we thank you so much for all the comments that you keep sending in on Facebook, as well as the messages that you send in. Please continue to do so even today. And I'd like to remind you what our SMS line is. The number is 21144, and we're live on Facebook, and the handle is GBS Kenya. Today in studio, I've got with me two very special ladies, and I'd like them to introduce themselves, and then I will share with you the topic of the day. I'll start with the lady on my right. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes.
My name is Florence Wambui Mwange. I'm the CEO, Director and Founder of Destiny Children's Home.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's great to have you.
Thank you.
And the lady to my extreme right, welcome.
Thank you so much. My name is Josephine Irungu, CEO and founder of Pristine HR Engine. It's a HR consulting firm. Thank you for having me, Anne.
Wow.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to be in the midst of CEOs and founders. And that is going to give us a hint about what today's topic is. We're talking about career women, and we really want to talk about understanding career women. Most times when the word career woman is mentioned, it comes with a negative connotation. And I want us to demystify that and to basically encourage women to view themselves as career women, because that is going to be able to open up a lots of doors for them. And I'd like to start with Miss Mwange. Allow me to call you, can I call you Miss Mwange? Is it okay?
Mrs.
Yes. Mwange.
Mwange.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Trans Nzoia in Kitale.
Okay.
Yes. And I went to school in Eldoret. And after school, I went to college. I trained as a teacher.
Okay.
But after 15 years, it was not really fulfilling.
So you went to, when you studied as a teacher, did you do, what certificate did you
I deal with the ECDs.
ECD.
Yes.
So you did that for 15 years?
Yes.
Okay.
Then after that, that is when now I changed direction and I started a children's home.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and it has been a journey, and it's so fulfilling.
It's very fulfilling.
It's very fulfilling.
Okay.
Yes.
Josephine, tell us a little bit also about yourself, where you grew up.
Josephine is a girl who grew up in Embu. I grew up in Embu, schooled in Embu, up until after my Form 4, that is high school. I left for Kisumu.
Okay.
That's why I started IT.
Yes.
And I was employed with one of the multinational companies in IT. Before now, I changed my profession to human resource.
Yes.
That's what I'm doing up to now.
And that's very interesting.
Yes.
Both of you have actually been in more than one career.
Yeah.
And you know, that's one of the things that I think sometimes when you talk about career women, most people think that it is only one line. One line that you've been in all your life. Yes, women, we are blessed to have so many roles. You are, first of all, you're a woman, you're a mother, you are a wife, and you can have different types of careers. So, you know, for example, the way you are a teacher first, and then for 15 years, when you were a teacher, did you ever view yourself as a career woman?
Yes, because that is what I was doing at that particular time.
Yes.
If you asked me, that was my career.
That was your career.
Because that is what I chose to do at that particular moment.
Yes.
So I viewed myself very much as a career woman.
And in your career path, did you grow in those 15 years?
Yes, I did. I did a lot. And even by seeing children graduating year after year, and also advancing in whatever I was doing.
Yes.
Because I started at a very low, at a certificate. Then after that, I went to a diploma. And then now after that, this is when I moved now to what I am doing. And this now I did counseling, and I did Christian counseling again.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
And you know, I like what you're talking about, self-development. When you view yourself as a career woman, you're able to give yourself different types of skills.
Yes.
And you're able to grow in them, and you're able to be exposed.
Yes.
Josephine, you actually talked about the fact that you also made a career change from IT to HR.
Yes.
Which means that there was quite you had to reskill at
I
some
had to
point in your
reskill,
life.
of course. I had to
Yes.
reskill. When I was redeployed from IT, by then in that organization, it was a department, I had to go back to school.
Yes.
Because yes, I had learned, before I was redeployed, I was in that department, HR department for some months.
Yes.
Hence I had learned some skills in terms on the job.
On the job.
But then I had to go back to school for knowledge.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm doing up to now.
Yes.
So by the time, allow me to refer to the definition, the last week definition,
Yes.
that career is something you do for
For a living.
for a living.
Or for the living.
Yes, it depends where you where you
For
are.
the
yeah?
living and for a living.
By the time someone realizes where your career is, you need first to understand who you are.
Yes.
So by the time I was doing in IT, I may say I was not really sure what or where I need to place my foot up until I was placed in HR department. I found the passion.
And you found that you fitted in so well.
I feel, of course, there were some challenges, but I
Yes.
overcame the challenges because I think that was, I understood what my purpose is.
Exactly.
And I overcame the challenges.
Yes.
Yes.
I like what you're talking about, understanding your purpose.
Yeah.
I want to really talk to Miss Florence and find out what is it that you shift from ECD to starting a children's home. How did you just wake up one morning and decide this is what I'm going to do? Or, like thrown into the deep end like Miss Florence, who was called and told there's an opportunity at the workplace and we want you to actually come and do HR.
Yeah.
How was the journey for you from education into a children's home where you still do educate, I believe?
Yeah.
Tell us that change.
I think I should say it's something that was in me since I was a very young girl. Because I started being around children actually in class 7.
Okay.
I was a Sunday school teacher. I could not sit to be taught. I wanted to assist the teacher to do what they were doing.
Okay.
And every other part of my life, I would actually find myself where children are. And I knew there was something about children. So when I went into teaching after college, after I finished my school, I thought I had gotten now to where
To your peak.
Exactly. But I didn't find fulfillment. As much as I worked with children, around children, I did not find fulfillment. So when we were on holidays, I used to volunteer so much in other children's home. Just to go and help be with those children. And I never viewed myself like I could even never start a children's home.
I know.
Because if you ask me, I would tell you, at starting a children's home, you need to have millions and millions of money,
I know.
which I didn't have. So I was not even thinking about it.
Yes.
But gradually, after I saw what was happening, I got exposed. I learned how things are done.
Tell us about that. That's what we want to hear about.
Yes.
Because now you used to volunteer.
Yes.
I like that. I like that, volunteering.
Yes, volunteering.
It is something that people look down upon or
Yes.
feel that it is something that you just do without it being beneficial to you. But here you are, look at you. Out of your volunteering, you got to actually get into your line completely, very well.
Yes. And actually, when I say about volunteering, especially in a children's home,
Yes.
you may think I wanted to sit and do the office work because I'm a teacher or I sit with the children and teach them. I could volunteer in the kitchen, doing laundry, cleaning the children. You give the children, I'll play with them very well. I'll teach them songs. I'll now be a teacher.
Yes.
But I never chose the area that I would volunteer. And actually, I felt very much fulfilled when I was literally working in the kitchen.
What would be
cleaning.
looked as
Exactly.
as a menial
As a-
task
yes.
that nobody wants to be. You don't want to go to college and then
You
start
go and
doing
start
laundry.
cooking, and maybe you're cooking with firewood, and you want somewhere that you will be comfortable.
like this office,
Yes.
hot shot.
And you know, when you come to a children's home, and especially where they are infants, those days we didn't have diapers. So it's actually literally cleaning the napkins.
Yes.
So you know that is not something that is not very, people would not like it. But I used to do that.
That's what
And I
you
used
liked.
to, when we opened school, I actually used to long for the holidays.
Yes.
Sometimes I would even go there on Saturdays
Yes.
to go and just do something with the children and do something for them. And then I realized that these children, when you just hold a child and give them love, it means a lot, because that is one thing that they don't have.
Yes.
And then in there you realize you're able to see this child is suffering from rejection at a level that they need help,
Yes.
depending on their age.
Yes.
So you start now talking to them. That is now what led me to do counseling,
Yes.
which actually now I'm also going back to school
to do that,
to do counseling.
to further it, because
Yes,
you
to
have
further
already
it.
done
Yes,
a
to further it.
certification of
Yes.
sorts. Okay.
Yeah, now I want to further that. So it is that made me that I never chose.
Yes.
And I didn't want to go to the established children's homes. No. I wanted to go in the slums.
Yes, the ones that were in dire need of
Need of help.
Yes.
Where you go and you find, actually, if I didn't come today, there would have been
A huge gap.
Yes.
Yes.
And even today, it's only that I'm more involved. I would also want to go and volunteer somewhere else.
Other than Destiny
Children's Home.
Yes.
Because I'm giving out now what I have.
That's
yes.
great.
Yes.
I really like the fact that it's coming out that career women are women who love to get more knowledge in their field, you know, because you've already talked about counseling, you're already an expert there, but you're going to build up on that. So at least for you, it was out of volunteering that you got your path into what your current career is when came through. But for you, Josephine, it was a bit different.
Yes,
and
there was a bit different.
There was a bit of fear and challenge around changing careers. How did you overcome? Did you talk to someone, like maybe a mentor, or how did you just make that shift?
I remember when I went through that shift, I had just come from burying my mom. So for me, it was a challenge, fear, why, God, why? So I had so many of whys. I was asking myself, why this is happening? But I had to look at, I have a future.
Yes.
And I'm one believer of, until I do it, that's when I will know whether it's mine.
Okay.
So I put myself into task and I accepted, because acceptance is what really helps someone to overcome.
Yes.
Accepting that this has happened. There's no choice. You know that phrase where people say, in everything that happens, there's a reason?
Yes.
So I had to make sure that I
You had to now believe
internalize
it.
that everything has a reason. So what reason is this? So I shifted from the why to the what and the how.
Okay.
And I had supporting boss who really mentored me. He coached me how to go about things. I really needed to do things. But one thing I came to understand by then is that the organization had a need. And so they saw me as a solution.
Exactly.
And so I was there to give them a solution.
Yes.
So I accepted to give them a solution. Look at where I am now.
So you had to up your game completely. Now
I had to up my game.
Yes.
I had to up my game properly, and I had to go back to school so that at least I had more knowledge and I get to understand what it is that is happening in the field and so forth.
Yes.
And I like what Mrs. Mwange said. What maybe by then she didn't realize is that was her hobby.
Yes.
Allow me to call that. That was her hobby. And what I would like to tell the women who are watching and the viewers is, there are some things that we do as a hobby. We don't know we are doing them for the sake. But how can we turn this hobby into an opportunity?
Exactly.
And that's what happened to Mrs. Mwange.
Yes.
Because she was volunteering, but she didn't know that. I'm very sure she didn't know by then that she would like to proceed in future to opening up a school.
She didn't know,
until she
actually.
perfected every now and then going to on Saturdays and so forth, until she perfected that.
Yes.
And now she's earning from it. And she's happy even saying, I would like to leave Destiny and go to another children's home to impact. So at times, some of the careers we find ourselves in through the hobbies, but we need to understand, if you are happy doing something, you are happy doing a certain hobby, try to get an opportunity, a chance. Because you already have the chance doing that.
Yes.
Get an opportunity out of the hobby and perfect that to it being a career.
Exactly. Yeah. That's very actually. Did you have that thought process when you were? Maybe now you've looked at it in a different way.
In a different way.
Yes.
I think I didn't. At that time, I was still. I say I maybe had fear.
Yes.
Because I saw how enormous it is.
Yes.
And how challenging it is. But there's one thing I've actually picked, that I saw a need.
Yes.
This home is catering for maybe 50 children, and there are other children out there that are suffering, and they need shelter, they need protection.
Correct.
So I decided I am going for it.
Yes.
Whatever it takes, I am. And one thing I can say, I am a go-getter.
Yes.
And I don't have a vocabulary of the word losing. I don't allow that.
Yes.
So I said I am moving forward. See, the other ones have made it.
Yes.
They are, yes.
Yeah.
You can also make it.
I can also do it.
Yes.
And then I had people around me who were really encouraging.
I want to
some
talk,
of them,
talk about that.
Yeah, some
A
of
bit
them
of
were not
mentorship.
understanding.
Yeah.
And they were like, let's see how far she will go.
Oh, some of them were negative.
Exactly.
The one they say
Exactly.
Okay.
And how can, you know, when actually most of the people we look at a person who is starting a children's home like a person who is very rich.
Yes.
Because they think you can only give what you have. But I may not have money, but I have that love.
Yes.
I am a mother. I can mother these children.
Exactly.
So
And they need that a lot.
yes. But I had a very supportive family. My husband and my children really supported me.
Yes.
At some point, they could not understand where I'm heading. And when the challenges were too much, I am like, I am giving up, and they don't know what to tell me.
I know.
Yes, you feel alone, and not, actually, it is not very encouraging when you're dealing with the society. Because they look at it like there's something you want to get from these children. You want to use them in a way.
Exactly. And there are people who do that,
There are people
unfortunately.
who do that, unfortunately.
Yes, who
But
try
now-
to get a lot of resources, maybe taking
Exactly.
photos of them and just getting donor funds.
Yes.
Yes.
But now when you do it and you are in
You're
line, because I
genuine.
work very closely with the children's department, the Embakasi sub-county where I am.
Yes.
So I am, they equip us.
Yes.
They take us to seminars. They enlighten us of what we're supposed to do with it. And I realized now I have to do a lot of things because there are things that I didn't know what the law
Says
says
about them,
about
yes.
the children.
And you don't want
Me,
to
I
find
thought
yourself on the wrong
it's
side.
a vision, and I just get children, feed them, take them to school, and that's it. But I came to realize that there's something like you get an infant who has been abandoned,
Yes.
and you bring this child up.
Yes.
Where will you take that child?
Yes, exactly.
We are in this life. Death comes. What do you do with that child? Because it is your sole responsibility.
That's right.
I have learnt a lot, and it has actually opened my mind. Now I look at things in a more broader way,
Yes.
and I am ready to face the challenge that comes, because it's
Exactly.
an area that has a lot of challenges. A lot of challenges.
And I like that. As we are encouraging career women out there, number one, we're saying that fear is going to be there.
Yes.
But
Yes.
despite the fear, go ahead and follow your dream.
Yes.
Go ahead and follow your passion. Go ahead and step into the shoes that people are thinking that you can do it,
Yeah.
even if you yourself are not saying that you can, for example, in a situation, because you never know how things will work out in the end. So guess what? We need to take a break. Viewers, we'll be right back after the break. And we're ladies right now, but after the break, we're going to have another guest joining us. So keep it here. Thank you. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for joining us. I'd like to introduce you to a guest who's joined us in studio. Welcome very much.
Thank you so much.
Please introduce yourself to the guests.
I am Victor Muniu, resident pastor of Life Pool Chapel, Outer Ring Road,
Yes.
and I'm also an author.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Do you view yourself as a career man? Just a joke. Today's topic is understanding career women, and we're so happy to have a man with us. And just before we get back into the discussion, I'd like to remind you that you can communicate with us on our SMS line, that is 21144. We're also live on Facebook, and the handle is GBS Kenya. So today we're talking about understanding career women, and I wanted to just talk to Mrs. Mwange a little and say that it is important for women to view themselves as career women, because when you do and you follow that lead, you're able to help a lot of women also to follow you in that path. And I'd like you to tell us a little bit about the work that you're also doing on top of the children's home that is helping other women.
On top of running Destiny Children's Home, I've started a mission to rescue Maasai girls, young Maasai girls from early marriage and FGM, because there is a great need.
Yes.
And you realize that if those children are not rescued, their life ends at 13, 14, 9.
Yes.
Because when they get married, they start having children, they have no future.
Yes.
And that is why I decided that as much as I am empowering the children who are in Destiny to become career women, I'm also going to do an extra mile and rescue those girls and give them education. And I'm not only rescuing the single girls. I'm rescuing them even from right away from the marriages.
Yes.
Because like I have a 12-year-old girl who is already a mother.
Wow.
And she's back to school. I'm taking care of the baby.
And how does that woman, how does she feel about what you've done for her?
Very great. They don't even have words. They don't even speak about it.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you so much for what you're doing. We really appreciate you. And you can imagine, if you were not the career woman that you are, all those children in your home, how many children do you have at Destiny?
37.
37. Boys and girls? Or?
Boys and girls, both.
37. Where would they be right now?
Yeah.
What about the ones that you already have rescued? Where would they be right now? So it is very important as women to overcome the fear that we face when we feel pulled in a certain career direction.
Yes.
It's important for us to overcome that fear because in it is not just you and your family. There are other people who are caught up in it.
Yes.
And Josephine, I know that this applies to you because once you got into HR and you became skilled and an expert in it, you did something else. That's why we're calling you CEO and founder.
Yes.
Tell us about another journey, part of your life.
I was in employment for more than 10 years, 10, 12 years, up until I realized that I'm doing more of consulting in the organizations.
Yes.
And outside my 8 to 5, the rat race hours, there are those people who would like to who like me to mentor them. They would like to know how to go about it. So I found myself consulting, but I was not earning from the consultation.
Yes.
Up until now, I realized I really needed to open an organization where I can offer the services that I'm offering in employment field. And that's how now I came about to opening the Pristine HR Engine.
And I like that. You realized that this is something you're good at.
Yes.
And you turned it into an opportunity.
Yes. Just like I said before,
That's what you
realize
said
the
before.
hobby
that
you are in.
Yes.
Because at times we take the hobbies for granted.
Very lightly.
Yes, very lightly. Not knowing that it's through the hobbies that you are in. You need to perfect the hobbies and create an opportunity out of it. And that's where the career women arise from. Because you'll find like Mrs. Mwange had that passionate to go into the children's home, impacting just being with the children. At times she would assist in the kitchen and so forth. But she didn't know in future, maybe 10 years from then. And that's where the question comes in. Where do you see yourself in 5 years to come?
Yes.
Where do you see yourself in 10
And
years
we
to
talked
come?
about planning
And you find most of the people are puzzled.
clueless.
Clueless. Surely, but you need
But
to
to be honest,
identify
I must say that
what am I
sometimes-
doing now, passionate about now.
Yes.
Then that's where you begin.
Yes.
Yes, that's where you begin. Your 5 years begins then. When you
begins
realize
now.
I'm happy about traveling. For me, I love traveling. So I'm thinking about how can I travel and make money out of the travel.
And turn it into an opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah. I know I'm going to invite you back here one day and you're going to have turned it into an
travelpreneur.
opportunity.
Yeah.
So, Pastor Muniu, is it okay if we call you that?
It's okay.
Or
it's
do you
okay.
want us to call you Author Muniu? Whichever.
Whichever.
We are happy
I
with.
am easy.
Now, when did you, what is the book that you've authored?
The first book that I've authored.
You mean
is
you have
titled,
many? Wow.
yeah.
Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
The first one is titled Your Life You're Thinking. Basically trying to challenge people to be very intentional about their thoughts.
Yes.
There is the second one, which is called Upgrade, which should be out in a week's time.
Excellent.
And then there is the third one, which is slightly behind. Actually, the third one was the second one. They just switched. So now the third one is Imagination, so which is also complete. And
Very
others.
much about thinking, about your thoughts, all those three things. You know, imagination has to do with your thoughts. Upgrade.
Upgrade, yeah.
Upgrade what?
Upgrade is more diverse.
It's more diverse,
It's more
yes.
diverse, but your life, you're thinking, and imagination, yeah. Mostly about your thinking.
Did
and
you
your
ever
thoughts.
think that you would be an author? What did you study? Where did you grow up? Give us a little bit about yourself. Go back a little.
Well, I grew up in Komarok. I was born in Pangani. Then we moved to Komarok. That's where I've actually lived most of my life. But currently, I live in Buruburu. So what
Did you ever
education?
think? What did you study when you went to? When you were in high school and campus?
In high school, definitely
The usual.
the usual
Yeah.
mathematics,
Yeah, the usual.
Kiswahili, CRE. After that, I've done a degree in theology. Writing just came. I normally tell people that's the hardest question.
Yeah.
Anytime I am asked, it's not like
You don't even know.
like I used to be a footballer, so football was a bit easy. You could tell, but writing just came. But at least there's a pointer, because I was good in composition, right?
At least when you were in
So
your
when
early days.
when I look back, at least I see, at least there was something somewhere. But then, even in my adulthood, I never realized or thought at one point I would be an author. But yeah, here I am today.
Well done. I'm so proud of you. Writing a book is no mean feat.
It's not
Just
easy.
ask
Writing
me.
3,
Yeah.
that is
You
amazing.
can
Now, I
ask
want
me.
us to talk about the view of men. We are lucky to have you in studio because you've interacted with a lot of people in
Yeah.
your life as a pastor,
Yeah.
in your life as an author, as a footballer. And how do men view career women? Is it positive? Is it negative? When you have your talks and women are absent, what do you usually say? This is the time to let us in.
Well, I shall be careful not to spill all the
Do not
secrets.
overexpose the
I
secret.
shall not overexpose so that I'm not kicked out of our man cave.
I
Or say,
know.
"Hey, you are a sellout." But I think it's both
Okay.
positive and negative, and it all boils down to the individual.
Yeah.
Because when you talk to people now, when you talk to this man, he's talking about his experience with the women around him.
Yes.
So it's not very objective, it's objective, so
That's
it's
true.
on case-to-case basis. So unless now we just look at
Different
the
scenarios.
different scenarios,
Yeah.
but I know there are people who are positive about it, there are people who are negative about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Florence, has your being a career woman, how has that impacted your family life? You already told us that some of the people who have encouraged you the most are your family.
Yeah.
You know, the reason I'm asking is because there's a lot of tug of war between career women, family. You know, tell us about that.
It's a challenge because number one, your family comes first.
Yes.
And like my case, I have children in my family, I have children at Destiny.
Yes.
And a child is a child.
That's
they
right.
need the same love and the same care.
Correct.
And it was not very easy for me to be able to put the line
Yes.
and say my family comes first. Of course, there are times where something will happen in Destiny and my family will have to wait.
Correct.
Because this is something I have, it's my responsibility. And I have to really make sure that I balance.
That's
I think balancing is the word, which is not very easy. Because apart from being a career woman, I have other things that I do in the society.
Exactly.
I have the spiritual life. I have now the family, my parents are still there. I have social things that
Your
I
friends,
do. I
your-
have friends.
your circles.
I want to sit down with you and have a cup of tea. I want to go with her and do ABCD. I want to be in the mission team in my church. I want to be, there's a lot that I have to do as a woman.
you.
Yes, as me.
Yes.
But if you're able to put it right from the family level, the other ones are very easy. The other ones are very easy. And if you are encouraged, because sometimes it has not been very easy for me, because sometimes I have to come home after midnight.
I can imagine.
For instance, I have a child who is sick. I go to the nearest hospital, I'm referred to Kenyatta National Hospital.
Yes.
That means I'll come back in the wee hours of the night, and I have a husband and children in the house.
Yes.
So it has to really, you have to really make them understand that even if it were my own child, I would do the same.
Yes.
And this is a responsibility that I have taken. And I have to walk with this child until
Yes.
that comes to, until they
Until
mature
they're
enough.
well,
Yeah, they mature
They're
enough,
independent,
yes,
yes.
until they are independent. If I have to do something in the church, let it, as a career woman, it is upon me to make, especially the children, sometimes we ignore children.
We do. We push them
We
aside,
feel
kabisa.
they don't have to know what I am doing in church. After all, I am the one who is the boss upon them. So I concentrate so much upon what I inform my husband. But there was one fear that has been constant, that my children will never tell me. You gave the children from the children's home more attention than us. Or I get to a point whereby my family will maybe be affected to a point of maybe degrading because of what I am doing.
Yeah.
So it's a decision I made.
It's a fear. Eh?
Yes, it's a fear. Actually, it's a fear. But how I overcome it is because I know my family comes first. So if something needs to be done that takes me away from the family for some time, we have to discuss it, including the children, that they don't feel left out. Because I am leaving my husband as a wife, I am leaving my children as a mother. Those two relationships are completely different. And my husband might be able to do it well without me than the children, because at this level they are still dependent on me on so many things, because what I do around the home, it's not actually what my husband does.
Yes, there are some things only a mom can do.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So
and
it's
I'm sure
very
you relate with that also, Josephine.
Yeah.
How have you been able to balance your career path and your family life? And are there things that you have lost? In fact, what I want you to focus on is, are there things that you've lost, certain relationships you've lost because you're a career woman?
Yes,
And
I've lost
worth it.
relationships, especially friends. I've lost friends. The friends that I had 5 years, 3 years ago are not the same friends I have now. But you see, it comes in, it's a plus. Because if the moment you get new friends, I have met Mrs. Mwange, to me that's a plus. I can now go back and sleep.
Yes.
Yeah, because the moment you get a new person in your network, that's a plus. That shows that you are growing in whatever you are doing.
Correct.
Because allow me to refer again to the other discussion of last week. That what Mrs. Mwange has said, just realize where you are. The moment you get into your house, that's your career, that's your field.
Yes.
Perfect, and have all the time with your children.
That's
and then
right.
calls upon communication. Communicate with the people that are around you. If it is your child, let your children know. The moment mommy leaves home, this is the place I go.
Yes.
Walk with them. Let them visit the destiny.
Let them come to you, exactly.
Let them visit your office. Let them visit your workplace, so that they now know when mom comes back at home, when she's angry, she's screaming and yelling, it's because of where she came from. Those are the challenges she faces.
Yes.
So it's talking with the people around you. Talk with your friends. Talk with your family. Talk with your spouse, your spouses. Let them know that this is what I do. But the moment I have all my time in the house, please make use of me. And of course, I'll give my best to you.
Yes.
So yes, I have lost friends. I can say I have lost some... I had passion in doing other things, but I'm not able to do, because I need to perfect where I am.
Exactly.
If I leave the house, I need to perfect. I need to focus on that. When I'm in the house, I need to focus.
Yes.
Yes.
And we've already talked about the fact that we, as career women, we've got many careers.
Yeah.
So back to you, Pastor. This is the $1 million question.
Shoot.
Are men intimidated by career women? And you know, I'm talking now about relationships or partnerships and marriage. You know, will a man look at two women and decide no to a career woman versus to, I don't know what the other one would be, because they're vain. Any woman who does something for a living is a career woman, you know?
Yes.
Well, they are on both sides.
Okay.
There are men who are not intimidated. Myself being in that team, I think I should be the president of that team. And then, of course, there are men who are very intimidated. I've sat with some, and you look at them and you're wondering, really?
They come to you and tell you, or?
Well, at some
their
point,
behavior.
well, there are those who will speak out openly, but there are those who you look at their mannerisms and you'll be like,
something's off.
You're actually intimidated by this particular person. So yes, they are there, and I think it's a challenge, because for me, I normally say, why? The reason why for me I'm not intimidated is because if you reverse the roles, if it is Florence here, if she's my mother, I would be happy seeing her as the CEO of a particular company.
The same man.
Yeah, the same man. If it is my sister, I would be very happy when I hear she's an MP, or she's been maybe appointed an ambassador. But I find it interesting that now when it comes to
my spouse,
you're wondering,
the whole thing changes. No more joy.
Yeah,
no more joy.
no
She's
more
supposed
joy.
to be in the house.
Yeah, so for me, I come from a point of, one, first look at this person, not in terms of the relationship, but look at them in terms of just a human being. This is a person who has dreams. This is a person who has aspirations.
Yes.
By them being on earth, there is a purpose that they're supposed to fulfill. And with that, it helps you.
Yes.
It helps you now be easy, because at some point you'll be like, okay.
You can celebrate them.
You can celebrate.
You can
because,
celebrate
yeah,
the accomplishment.
Because I can't be that you are there. The height of your life is to make me tea.
Allow me to laugh as
As a
we
wife.
take a break.
As a wife.
We need to go on another
that's-
break.
yeah.
What? The height of your life? As in, the highest moment.
The highest
Yeah.
moments. Now for
To
me,
do
as
my
a-
laundry.
that is
Yeah,
doing
clean the
laundry.
house.
Clean the house.
Yeah, so when you look at it
Aye.
from the perspective of this is a person who has aspirations, who has
Yeah.
dreams, who has desires, then when they come and tell you, I think I want to pursue this, then it's easier.
You can encourage.
You can encourage them, you
Yes.
can support them. So
Allow me to cut you short. We need to take a break, so viewers will be right back. Thank you. Welcome back, viewers. We're so happy that you're still with us. And remember, you can send in your comments. The line to use, the SMS line is 21144. And on GBS Kenya, that is the Facebook handle, GBS Kenya, Facebook Live. So let's continue. So yes, we need to celebrate the women in our lives
Yeah.
who are becoming accomplished, who are going out seeking for more knowledge, so that, you know, as a spouse, you don't feel intimidated, or as a boyfriend, you actually celebrate them. The same way you would your mom or your sister or whatever, yeah? So, okay, I like the way you've answered that. Basically, you're being very, yes, and it's true, that's the way life is. There are those men who are intimidated by career women, and then there are those who are not. In fact, there are those who only want to hang around career women.
if I can add just a practical example. If you go to hospital
Yes.
and you find that the doctor is a woman, will you say you'll not be treated by her because she's a woman?
No.
So we should celebrate. When you see that this lady is now the CEO of this particular hospital, this lady is the CEO of this, we should celebrate because we are human beings and they add value to our lives. So
Yes.
it cannot be that every part of the world is filled up by men. It's
cannot
not
be.
possible. Life would
Yes.
be boring. Life would be
Would
boring.
be,
Yeah.
yes. And I'm so happy to have a man in studio who actually, you know, is sharing that. Because a lot of times you find that you're a career woman with a child, and then you find that you're not attracting any men in your life.
Yeah.
And you wonder, what is it?
Yeah.
You know, what can you say about that, Josephine? Is that a reality or is it a myth? That
That's
you
a
tend
myth.
to, it's a myth.
To
Okay.
me, I'll say it's a myth. There's nothing really in life. Or rather, there's nothing, it's not a fact.
Yes,
It's not a fact.
Yes.
Just what Pastor Muniu has said, at times there are those men who are intimidated.
Yes.
Because for them, the society believes that it's only a man who should be up there.
Yes.
But you see now, the boy child, there's a way a boy child has been oppressed and the women have been empowered.
Yes.
Because when you educate a woman, it said you have educated, is it a whole village or a whole
community,
society, a whole
yes.
community?
Yes.
Yeah. So there are men who are intimidated, and it becomes a myth in the sense that they're saying that a career woman cannot be married.
Yes.
And if at
That's
all
a
she was in marriage, that's why the marriage, there was a breakup because of what she's doing now. Why? Because she has risen into several ladders and she's seen that that's all what she's doing. And hence the man or the spouse in her life feels intimidated and pulls her back. Why? Because again, the people surrounding this particular man or a husband or even a boyfriend are people who are not encouraging this man. They are putting fear into this man.
Yes.
That you have been sat on by that woman. You're not going anywhere. You don't even match. You don't even match. And you find that's where now the boy child comes into, the boy child is oppressed. And will be like, sure, my friends, I've been with this friend of mine 15 years. They're talking the truth.
This is what they're
There's no way
saying.
I'm going with Anne. If anything, she's just sitting on me. Sitting
It's
on
like
me.
she's rising and rising as me. I'm
Yes,
just
rising and rising. This particular one
She's using me as a
forgets
ladder.
Forgets that where the girlfriend, the wife works. The example Pastor Muniu gave of a nurse.
Yes.
Your wife, your spouse, your girlfriend is treating another man who is appreciating her.
Exactly.
Because this man is going there with an intention and an objective. I'm here to be diagonized and to be given treatment. Off I go. It doesn't matter whether it's a woman or it's a man.
So long
But
as
when
it's
the
done
woman comes
excellently.
back home, no support from the husband because
Yes.
there's somewhere the husband passed through and he was told
Some comments.
some comments.
Yes. Would you like to respond to that? In terms of men and the kind of influence other men have on them, you know?
Well, I think it's true because there are people. You see, I think the first thing people need to understand, especially as men, is our role.
Yes.
I am a leader. I am the head.
Yes.
Whether I make 10,000 and you earn 1
I'm happy that you've introduced the monetary aspect because I was going to now bring that in because sometimes it does contribute negatively.
Yeah.
So for me, I come from that point of, as a man, first you must understand you are the head. And you know, at times, the solutions I provide are not necessarily monetary. You may have your 1 billion,
Yes.
but because I am structured to be the leader, I am structured to provide leadership, I will just sit down and I'll come up with a solution that will not even require a single cent because that is how I am wired. And so for us as men, the challenge is we must first appreciate and understand that we are leaders.
Yes.
So whether she's the CEO or not, I should not be intimidated. I should know that at the end of the day, I am the head.
There's a place that only I can.
There's a place that only I can. And at some point, you know, when you're secure,
Yes.
there's how you emit that leadership. You know, at some point, it's not that essence of trying to put you down to prove that I am the man. Just when I am aware and I understand and I am secure, I'll just do things and it'll be like, he's the leader. Though you earn your 1 billion, you'll be like, even with my 1 billion and my masters, I could never have come up with that solution.
Yes.
So I think for men, that's the first challenge, because if that does not happen, we will be intimidated, because left, right, center, women empowerment is something that is not,
it has worked.
It is not
Number
dying,
one.
it is
And
not,
it is continuing to work.
it is not dying anytime soon.
Look at
It's
the
not dying
cars
anytime
people
soon.
are driving. I'm telling you, it's usually a whooping behind.
Yeah, actually, like when I was coming here, the number of women I've overtaken
Yes.
driving.
There's so many.
And you see, that's what I'm saying. Because she's a woman, it doesn't mean that she does not want to drive.
Of course.
It does not mean that she does not want to live in a good house. So when we first understand that,
To travel.
to travel, when we first understand that. So when I see her with a car, I come from the point of, first, I'm not looking at her as a woman. I'm looking at her as a human being,
person,
as a
yes.
person who has aspirations, who has desires. So first I appreciate that, and then I look at, okay, now she's a woman, and then slowly we get into the nitty-gritties of other things. Now she's a mother, and then on this other side she's a wife. But at the end of the day, when you look at a person, and that's what we're able to appreciate. So for men, the challenge is we must be aware that we are the leaders, and we must provide leadership, and we must not be intimidated. But again, also, I normally say, the challenge again with women, you see, your empowerment.
Before you go there, I want to talk to Mrs. Mwangi and ask you a little. Would you, if one of the things I've found to be very interesting is also that are women able to accept the leadership of a man without his financial capability when it's down? Or do you tend to look down on him and move on quickly?
I think that one now is, I would say,
depends.
it depends.
Yes.
It depends with who you are, your understanding of why you are in that marriage, and understanding who you are living with. Because if you're in a marriage because of money, when the money is not there, then you don't have a husband.
Yeah.
If you're in a marriage because you're of love, and you want to go until
The long haul.
the long haul,
Yes.
then money doesn't come in. It will be very easy for you to actually do what is supposed to be done with money and let him still be the leader in that family.
Okay.
I can tell you of a personal example. There was a time my husband stayed for almost 3 years without working, and nobody knew.
Really?
Apart from the very close family members.
Life didn't change?
It didn't change.
He would wake up and go?
Yes, he would wake up and go. There are challenges in there because him as a man and not being able to provide, it's already a challenge.
For him, I know.
But for me, it's not about what he brings in the house. Yes, we need the money, but this is somebody who we got married when we didn't have that money.
Exactly.
And I have seen people who have been up there and they come. So if there is no money in the house, he still remains the husband. He still remains the father of my children.
Yes.
That one cannot change.
Correct.
Even if I would jump and get another father, it will never be biological.
No, it won't.
So it's a high time that women realize that this person is there because of a different thing, money is an added thing.
Yes.
Yes, because
That's
me, I
right.
believe
Yes.
you can be able to live without that much money.
Yes.
You can be able to live with one income.
Yes. You can.
And the other
Irrespective
thing,
of where it's coming
yes,
from.
and the other thing I would like to say as a career woman is take your place as a wife in the house.
Okay.
He will always come in with a newspaper and the khakis, put them on the table and wants a cup of tea. Na tumeingia na yeye.
Na pia umechoka,
Hata
umeenda
mimi
laundry.
nimechoka na by the way nikiangalia challenges zangu ni mob.
Eko.
But I have to be the wife
Yes.
that I am supposed to be.
Yeah.
Not hata wenda ukapike hata mimi nimechoka. Tumeingia na hata uliingia mbele yangu nimekupata umelala kwa kiti. You have to be the, you know your role.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. Imagine we have to give our parting shots. So please give your parting shot, and then just when you give your parting shot. Thank you.
Well, I think from what I would say is we just need to first have an understanding, and what our mom has said, especially for the women.
Yes.
You must also understand where you're coming from. There are roles that don't change.
Yes.
Just because you're a career woman, you don't cease to become a mom.
Yes.
Just because you're a career woman, you don't cease to become a wife.
Correct.
As you say, you know, there are times you hear stories and you're like, woman, you have forgotten
You're also this.
your role. You see,
Yes.
the whole idea of empowerment is to enhance, so that
To add on.
to add on, so that
Not
whatever
to
you're
remove
doing
and
as a mother,
subtract.
whatever you're doing as a wife, at least it is upgraded. You give us a better feel.
Exactly.
But now, most women think that now this empowerment is to put people down. Let people know that I have a master's and I shall not take crap. I shall not be cooking tea. I shall not be doing laundry. So they should be able to understand that the whole idea of empowerment is to enhance.
Okay. Josephine, we need to give you a chance to give a parting shot. Sorry.
My parting shot will be to the women that they need to realize what is they are best at, and they don't need to shift their wordings from a respectable woman to a bossy woman.
Ah.
Just choose one word, choose your word where you really feel you belong, and respect your inner voice. Respect your inner voice. If your inner voice tells you that you need to pursue something, that's where you are best at, pursue it.
Yes.
And of course, look at, have a mentor in life, and close your ears for the naysayers.
Well, we've come to the end of the show, not because we have nothing more to talk about, but because time is up. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.